Hi everyone. Pressing the wrong buttons. Don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyways, hi everybody. How's it going today? Good. Good to see you all. Everyone. Yeah. So today I'm doing some fun things. I am going to work on something that a friend of mine talked to me about. Paul Beard, who is part of the WordKit Canada organizers, contributor all-around good dude. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to work on a thing that I think that we were talking about. So basically, the idea was that he works for Matador Jobs, and he does like they manage job postings. So there's like this idea that of not having schema items for search engine stuff. So like we'd want to have basically you'd want to generate something like this for each job posting on the site. I don't know if Paul's going to join us on stream. I just pinged him, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. Let me just move this over here. And yeah, I don't know if Paul's going to be around or not, but if not, this might turn into like kind of a multiple sort of stream thing. We'll see. I don't know. But the idea is the concept is that having blocks define this stuff basically. So we would basically want to generate a series of data. So I'm assuming we're going to end up with something along these lines, right? So we want to be able to generate this based off of blocks. So if we had, let's just see here. Now, so there's a number of ways that we could probably do it. But at the top of my head, what I was thinking is if you had something like group block, right? You could do, so you have a group block, right? The group block, let's whatever, right? And this group block would define all the wrapping elements. So if we look at what this is, so like this would define basically these two pieces, I'd imagine. And then inside of that, other pieces would connect to these other ones. So education requirements, and this would work. Like this isn't like this schema thing's pretty specific use case, but I think doing this sort of thing kind of would be helpful for other use cases other than this. Like if you want to have blocks and blocks that are combined to build out some kind of structured data, some kind of information that you would use other places, and it's all sort of relevant. So there's going to be some things that are like I think does this tell us if things are required? I don't know if there's ways of knowing what's required or not, but oh, we could look at the schema here. Does it tell us what's? Oh, stand by. What is this? This is ugly. Hold on. I've been messing with extensions lately, so I have to turn on a bunch of extensions. This is probably my favorite one ever, the JSON formatter one. I will do that. I will refresh this. Now we should get there. See, that's much nicer. So if we look at grab, oh wait, okay. So oh my lord, get out of here. If I do, if I go find for job posting, I have 44 of them. That's hilarious. So schema job posting. Let's do a find of that. There's got to be some details around what gets in there. Does this actually define what's required and whatnot? I know there's some required stuff, so maybe that's something that we can figure out in a little bit later, but maybe not right at the moment. Yeah. Hey, the LUP. Phillips here. I'm not gonna do a thing. What's going on? Oh.
Great, it's Philip.
Let's say it's Philip. It's gonna do it again. That was delayed. Big time.
Great,
oh.
It's Philip.
He's there twice. Ridiculous. I gotta fix that. I keep saying that and I never fix it. Anyways, the double call. Well, it's because you're twice as awesome. So dumb. Anyway, so I was thinking is maybe what we would start with is we could do something along the lines of we could do a block variation, perhaps. Then so each one of these group blocks could be a variation that has like a schema type, you know. So we could do properties from job posting. So what is this? What is this? You know, and we could do some things like that. We can start building this out. So I don't know. There's a lot to think about here. There's a lot to think about. Are you creating a Yoast competitor? I am not creating a Yoast competitor. No, I'm creating something that apparently is needed in that community. So the idea behind this is a guy that I know, Paul, who I'm going to organize maybe for next stream for him to come on, and because he can talk about this much more intelligently than I can. But we had this conversation around being able to create schema around the contents of the block editor. So like you would have a job posting, like say you could do like a heading thing, and this is like, why does that look like that? Well, that's just weird. They're like, what the heck is going on here? Have I broken something? I don't know why my heading block has now got that in there. But anyways, you put heading in, and for some reason it's got background, and I'm gonna just set to there. There we go. So then this could be the job title. What was the question? There's a lot. Maybe Gemma serve. I don't really know. I think at this point what we need to do. Paul and I had some really great conversations around basically storing it as post meta on here, but maybe that's not what we want. I don't know, but it would be able to be stored anywhere. Like we'd store it and then we would output that where it needed to be output, right? And I thought you want to solve it. I saw some topics on Twitter about the need schema, W4, and I thought, man, yeah, maybe. So Anthony Skelton, would you prefer this as a variation as opposed to a custom block? I think, but anyway, sounds cool though. I think that this could be a variation because I mean, my first instinct with this is that in order to be able to, where am I? Down here. So like, if we wanted to do like, you know, a very simple schema. The things that we absolutely need for each one of these things are going to be this, right? We're going to need context and we're going to need type. So if we had a wrapping block, that wrapping block could store the type in it. Because then you can also start generating patterns, right? You could start building patterns out that connect to certain things. I mean, there's a lot of ways that we could kind of make this happen. So a variation, I mean, we've already got a group block, so why not just use a variation of that group block? And then the group block would take a bunch of inner stuff, right? And then we can do what we need to do in there. And I mean, there's a number of ways to kind of manage this. If we had a custom post type for postings, this is just me talking a lot now, but if we had a job posting post type, you could store all this information in post meta and then use block bindings to connect all of that stuff. Like that'd be an interesting way of approaching it as well, right? But it's when you're not, you know, if you want to just insert a block, or sorry, if you wanted to insert a job posting somewhere on a page, there's a lot of edge cases here. Is where I'm going with all this. It'd be interesting to be able to have it all associated with that particular post type, right? FAQ is also a good example of inserting on a page. What do you mean? FAQ is also being able to insert an FAQ that's used in multiple places? Is that what you mean? Oh, an FAQ schema. I'm sorry. Okay. You'll have to forgive me. I don't really know a lot about Schema, but I'm interested. It looks like fun times. Let's go back here. And so FAQ is a Schema. Beep bop, ba boop. That's a really interesting point. Philip is saying, I may be wrong, but it shouldn't be a feature at the editor level, not as low as a block. Well, yes and maybe no. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's the thing. So if it fits at the editor level, we still want blocks to manage the content of this stuff, right? Schema for product reviews. Oh, nice. Okay, that's great. That's awesome. I don't think you're wrong, Philip. I think there's a lot of ways that can be done. If you are looking, so if you're in the block editor, for example, for a job posting, then everything about that could potentially be part of the editor, right? But if you're working on the home page and you want to insert a query loop block or the advanced query loop block, you may want to have that managed at the block level, right? Yeah, I don't know. I think because fundamentally the content, it has to drive this. It has to be done at sort of the block level in some way, right? We need to generate the content and then have that content generate these items. So like, the base salary. The base salary is going to be, so this is going to be tied to something. Let's look. So we have like the title, which I don't know. Let's look at an example. So the title is going to be there. Let's look at the more sort of a detailed. So then we'll have base salary, right? So base salary is going to have to go in there. Job benefits, like all of these are strings, right? So each one of these blocks needs to represent this content. But inside of here, like this, we could have a paragraph block and I forgot another one of my extensions that I love. I don't know why I didn't turn it on when I was in here. Where's that thing? Well, put that one on. Put this one on. Not that one. This one. Let's try again. So let's just try again. So like, we want this one, like, so this is our job description, right? But the job description is not, so we have to be able to tie this somehow to something, right? But we might want to also be able to do this, right? We want to make sure it's hard to identify a piece of content. Yeah, so I think what we could do is we could do something with a pattern. So the pattern would define the so I don't think it's doable. But I think what we're trying to do here man, this is a hot topic. Y'all got some real strong opinions about this. This is great. I'm not following. So the LUP saying it, so I don't think it's doable at the Gutenberg level. But I think I don't follow. It's hard topic because it's hard to identify a piece of content and then pick the right schema for it. I think you do it the other way. I think you build your content and then wrap it in the schema that you want. So what I would probably do is something like, do I have, okay, so this is probably what I would do. CD, let's start building some stuff here. I'm going to do npx, and I'll talk through this. I don't really know, and I don't know what I'm doing. As you guys know, certainly can't type. So we're going to do, oh, that's a little thing that I'm working on there that no one needs to know about. We're going to do, I'm going to call this whatever, let's go schema builder. And I fully recognize that this is such a huge topic, right? Schema builder. And I'm going to...
Great, it's Drayson.
Oh, that guy's here. Hi, Ron. Hi, Terrence. We are working on some stuff with Schema.
Great, it's Drayson.
Yeah, it's to Drayson, all right. And I'm just gonna do this because do I need blocks? I'll probably need some blocks. I'm just gonna do a dynamic variant. So the thing is, like, you could do this. You could definitely Oh my god, dynamic. It's like my first day on the job here. Oh, that's gonna fail. I'm in the wrong. Use 20. Oh, of course, I didn't spell it right. But that's fine. That's fine. All right. So, well, this music is hilarious. It's gotta go. Okay, so that's gonna build. So I think what I'm gonna do is we could start with maybe building us some wrappers, some things that are like generate parts of it, and then we'll need to have a way of like basically culminating all the things. Does that make sense? Like some kind of schema generator in the thing. So Terrence, what we're doing is we're trying to build a schema wrapper. Like we're trying to make blocks generate schema. If that makes sense. Here's my schema builder. So in here, I'm going to do some things. Oh, Terrence with the random question. Do you have any setting frameworks recommendations for creating settings UIs for plugins? I would use everything that's provided by Gutenberg. We have a ton of components. So, yeah, like all the components and everything in there, you could basically build out whatever you need. That's my recommendation. So there you go. Okay, so this is gonna be a plugin. Okay, I'm gonna do this. That's some custom entry points. So this is gonna be my variations entry point. I'm gonna put that in the folder. I'll call this variations just for now. Index JS. All right, so that's what that's going to do. This is going to build out the variations here. Put index in. Oops. JS. Okay. The other thing that I need to do here is I want to be able to. I'm going to just hide this for a second, and I need to. What is this? enqueue from plugin. There we go. Okay, so this is going to enqueue that variation thing, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be called variations. If I spell that right. Who's talking? This is clearly broken. Fix that. Okay. Schema. Variations. Where have you seen that? In most blocks, I've seen the option to output schema. The default is false. I've literally never heard of that. Can you show me where you've seen that? Just a simple toggle. Where have you seen that simple toggle? Do I not know about this? How is this a thing? So this is like in core blocks? Is that what we're talking about? Oh, and plugins. Okay, yeah. Okay, sorry. I thought there was something I just didn't know about. So let me just go into schema. Oh no, schema builder. PM start. Make sure this is actually building. Oop, something's not right. Oh, duh. That's why. Let's try that again. Okay, so that's building. That's just building. So let's jump over here. I'm just going to come to my plugins. I'm just going to enable this plugin. Don't need that. Ski. I'm gonna deactivate Gutenberg. I just don't. We need it. Man, when you've been streaming for 2 years and you build a plugin every stream, it gets a bit much. Okay, so we got back to our job posting. All right, so I should have that in there. So what I think I'm gonna do, I'm going to register some variations. block variations. So I think we can do that. This is where I'm looking. What is going on here? So there we go. Okay. So I want to register variation, creating block variation. So I can do this with register. So I'm not going to do it that way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to import from. So here I'm going to do caps lock on, word, press dependencies down here. I'm going to go import, register, block variation, WordPress blocks. Okay. Man. So this is all I'm going to need to do, right? So I do, and this is going to be core. This will be group block. The name's going to be, we'll call this, I don't know what we're going to call this, Schema Scribbler, Schema Builder, and then we'll call it job posting, right? Job posting. And what else can we put in here? I'm going to give it a better title, right? And so it's going to be job posting. Okay, so, oh, right, yeah, we need text domain. We need text domain. Schema Builder. Okay, sure, whatever. Okay, so that'll be that. So hopefully that's gonna actually, let's look in the build. We got variations. Let's make sure that that's actually loading. Sure, save the draft. And if I refresh this now, I should be able to find job. Oh, nope. What did I do wrong? Is there console errors? Okay. Sources. Page. Content. Variations. Oh. What? That's weird. Register block variation. What the? You know what I'm going to say. Alright, I'm just going to do this. Am I queuing this in the right place? What the hell? Let's do this. And jump to debug, boop, and oh, that's not the page at all. So it gets in there. Asset file. Variations.asset.php. Okay. Seems to be working. I actually have the plugin turned on, don't I? How embarrassing would that be? Let's see. There it is. There it is. Okay, so all that's doing is just giving us this, right? So then I guess we need to determine the default. So we're gonna give it an attribute name of I guess it'll be what do we want to call it? Here, and it's like type. Can I do that? Let's go. Type. This will be job posting. I think that's what we want here, right? And then I think the other thing that we need to figure out is this sort of using the is default, right? So is default is true, is active, that's what we want. So is active. And there's been really some really cool things that is active has been doing. So I can do this. I can say is active at type. Right? I did activate the plugin, but I think I just didn't open up the. You're not allowed to just go work. What's that, dude? Not cool. So this is not finding the right one. Oh, maybe I need to get rid of it. Let's see. Let's do this. Job posted. So it shows up as groups. So there's the This is really cool. So if it has text, if the block variation matches the value here. So this is active thing is a little bit confusing. It confused me a little bit. So the idea behind it is that when you're registering a block variation, you're presetting some attributes here. And so what this is active is saying is like, it's not, does this exist? It's, does it have this and does it match this value? So, oh, this is job posting, which is awesome. Right. So let me just reload this. Weird. This is not showing up. Let's look at in here. There should be attributes. Oh, do I have to? Oh, I think I know why. Yeah, it doesn't know anything about that. I think what I have to do is, text color. Yeah, so it has to be an attribute that it knows about, which is hilarious. I mean, also gonna turn off my debugging. So in order to make that happen, I need to add a filter. I'm gonna add a filter. What? Block filters. So we gotta go block filters. There we go. Is this what I want? That's what I want. So we want to register block type. Block storage. This is what I want. So I'm gonna pull in add filter. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna do this because I'm lazy. We're gonna fix this up in a moment. So what I want is I want to pull in import add filter from WordPress hook. So I'm gonna get rid of this, and I'm going to say is not. Let's say is not core group, right? So return settings. If it is core group, I'm gonna not do this. I'm gonna say attributes. Attributees, right? We're gonna say settings.attributes. Attributes! And then I'm gonna add schema. And I need to do it. We need to define, so type is gonna be string, default is gonna be yada, yada, yada. So this should be what I need to do. I think this is, so this is gonna be schema builder. This is gonna be what is this? Schema type. Schema type to type, and this will be core block. So you don't have to name it this way. So this is the name of the hook. This is. Are you eating or are you working? Come on. This is the namespace of this particular thing, and then this is I'm gonna change this to add schema working to eat. That's okay. I appreciate that. Attribute. Add schema attribute. So I'm just gonna put that there, put that there. So now that should do this, and this is gonna register the variations. This is already getting busy. All right, let's see now. So let's go back in here. Oh yeah, sure. Refresh this. I don't know if this is gonna work. Maybe this is still not gonna work. We'll see. Job posting. Boom. Huh? Why? Why being an ass? Schema. Type is job posting. Okay, so the active thing is not. All right. It's bugging me that that's not saying that. So let's look at how group block does it. Right, attributes is active. Because the you know, when all else fails, we'll go to the repository here. So the thing about the group block is that the row block, the stack, and all that stuff, they're all actually variations of that anyway. So let's look. Packages. And block library. Not block editor, block library. Source, we're gonna go group, look in variations. Let's see what we got in here. So inner blocks, nope. Is active. Is default is true. The function. All right, so we can try that. So this, we can also do a function here, which is supposed to not do that. It's gonna be, okay, so block attributes in here. So we're gonna say, that needs to go away. Okay, is that right? That's right. So block attributes. And how does it do this here? Where, guys, so, okay. So I say block attributes dot schema type equals job posting. All right, that's supposed to be exactly what I'm doing here. Very strange. Probably doing something really stupid. Oh, is Kev here? He hasn't said anything yet. Weird. Okay, I don't know why that's not doing it. But anyways, what's this? Oh, I have Grammarly turned off. That needs to go away. Grammarly needs to manage extension. I don't want that on. Sorry, Kev. Okay. Anyways, the idea.
It's KevXB.
It's KevXB. He's here. So now, well, we do have this schema type, so that's what we want. I don't know why this is doing this.
Great. It's KevXB.
It's KevXB. Something on group. Oh, you, Kev. He has arrived. There we go. Oh, I gotta figure out why the group block is active is not working. It might be a bit more detailed. Let me do a couple of things. So I think we could also say what is because I think we don't want it to be columns. We can put columns inside of columns. Blocks on blocks on blocks on blocks for that. So what do we have here? Let's go. Okay, we're gonna go layout type constrained. So layout.type. Okay, so we're gonna set attributes. We're gonna set layout. And we'll say type. No. Type is going to be constrained. Right, I think that should set it so basically it's going to be just a standard old groupie block there. Look at that. There you go. Job posting, boom. the hell is the problem here? Something's weird. What is this? I don't know. I don't know. Weird. So if I get rid of this now and I do a row block, it just inserts the row. Code editor. Bootstrap, no wrap. Well, so let's look at that variation. This is annoying. Doing the same thing. Grab that layout object. And I'm gonna put it in there. Just gonna test this. I'm in the weeds here now. In the weeds. Oh, that's fine. See, that did that. That did it. But it still sees it as a group block, which is super frustrating, but okay. But it's getting the schema stuff. Okay, so I think this is active, needs to be a bit different. I'm gonna go and, where's my and? No, no, not there. And, sure. And, you know what, I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna flex, a type. Type is going to be flex. We're going to just make sure all of this stuff matches this stuff. That's the idea. So like if the schema type, oh no, not that. Yeah, that. Basically, if the schema type matches this value, if the layout type matches this value, and the layout flexion matches this value, then it should show up as job posting. It should recognize that that is a job posting one, right? Isn't it great when you get on the stream and it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh no, I'm actually really bogged down in something that has nothing to do with what we're actually doing here. Super annoying. It doesn't seem to matter what it wants to do. No, anyways, it's getting it. I just wonder if I wonder if it's something to do with the actual, I wonder if it's something to do with the group block. I feel like it might actually have something to do with the group block. Oops. Like, I'm gonna create a variation for this. is active, and I should be able to put an array in there of provider slug name. That's the way, this is the way it should work. It should be like, does this value match this? Yeah, see? So that is the correct way of doing it. Okay, let me try. So I know that that's not working, but so it is active. It's supposed to be able to take an array. So the first thing I would want is we're going to put schema type. And then apparently we can also do this, which is really cool. Layout dot type. That's apparently the other thing that it can now do as of 6.6. This is super cool. And basically what it's checking is like, is this the same as this? Oh, maybe I need to be doing this a different way. So go like that. I should be able to say, and I'm gonna try both these things, but we'll see. So, okay, so we'll try this one, see if it works. Again, this music is not fun. God, come on. Bah. Yeah, it just doesn't want to do it. So that doesn't seem to work. Okay. So I'm gonna comment that out. So I put this back in now. I should be checking the block attributes versus the variation attributes. And it's just not working. So weird. Let's look at issues and say group block variation. That's not it. All right, this is starting to ring a bell somewhere. I don't know where I'd find it, but there's got to be something about it somewhere else. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna back channel some folks, and we'll move on. Anyway, okay, let's move on. So regardless, we can fix this. We'll figure out what the issue of that is. But so the idea here is now we've got this group block. The group block's going to have the basis of our schema, which is right there, right? So we've got that. And then anything inside of this can also have. Sorry, Kevin. I'm working on something about like trying to connect blocks to build out schema, pretty much. And so I'm starting with this. We'll just see how it goes. So the idea would be that we can put a heading block in here. I don't know why the heading block. Where is that stuff coming from? Hold on. Let me just parents themes. Okay, so let's go out of there. Can I just reset my global styles? I think I want to just reset my global styles. Default styles, reset to default. Okay. Let's try that. Oh, did I not save it? Save. I just don't care about it. There we go. Okay, so this would be the job title, right? And this is right. So something like that, I think. Yeah, but there's certain things that like we want to be able to like show and hide from schema. It's basically that. So you know, we'll need to have some sort of probably what we should. Oh, actually, what am I doing? Probably one way to do it, and this would be kind of a hack, would be to register a slot fill. That might be an interesting way of doing this. Import, register, plugin. Here we go. Oh. Plugin, right? And then what we can do is we'll register our plugin down here. Register plugin. Schema builder, right? And we'll give it a render object. And then, okay, so this is a hack. This is a total hack. So this is how you introduce slots or fills into the slot fill system. But you can also have it introduce just random code. You can just put a bunch of code in here, right? So we can have it basically check. We could have it return the blocks. Like we need to basically figure out when the blocks change. So that's what we'll do. Okay. So yeah, okay. So let's build out I'm just going to do this as just like this. What are we going to do here? Okay. So I'm going to have it the best way of doing this. I don't need to just return anything, do I? I don't need to return anything. I can just say const use I'm gonna want to use the store, not so I'm gonna import the store here. Import be like use select WordPress data. Then here it's going to be like whatever data equals use select is going to be like that, and then it's going to be like blocks, return blocks. So then I'll just have a console log blocks. Right, so this is going to give me this is boilerplate crap. It should actually not be this at all. It should probably this is what I want. Get rid of that, and get rid of that, and get rid of that, and then this becomes blocks. Right. So this should okay, let me see what this does. So here we go. So there's one in here, right? So we got all our blocks. So we could look through each. So I mean, there's an interesting. This is an interesting approach. It can look through and say, oh, does it have schema? If it's got schema, then it can get into the inner blocks, right? And then it can start maybe applying. That's an interesting thing. Like, what if we actually had it? What if we had what if we added schema type, but then we also added schema, like schema. Like what we could store it on the block level. Anyways, we'll figure that out. But so this will give us all the blocks, right? And then what we can do is we can map. Right. So you loop over every block and open the schema properties being used. Yeah, something like that. That's kind of it. But the idea was like we would want to be able to somehow identify each inner block as what it's meant for, right? Like it's meant for something. And we want to be able to make, so here's the super complicated part, is that what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to abstract away, hide all of the sort of abstraction stuff. Sorry, what am I saying? Like we hide the controls, basically, is what I'm getting at, because it would be cool if you could just define something, right? So we had a pattern, like if you did something like this and you took every single block and this is interesting. Like if you did every single text block, right? So okay, so here's an idea. So when we're building out these things, right? So we have these things. We have basically the schema, the schema property, and then the schema value. Or we could just call it schema property. That's interesting. And then there'd be a value for it. How would we do that? What I'm sort of getting at is like we'd have schema property. So then each block would you could basically go through it and you could append it to the top schema thing, and you'd get its value from one place. The value is going to be hard to know. Like if we just limited ourselves to a few blocks, right? Like what is this stuff going to basically mean? Like this is all strings, right? So is there any time like USD, is there an image? Is there an image in here possibly? Like there's a ton of things in here. URL, like I don't know. A lot of the stuff you could probably pull out in other ways, but it'd be interesting to be like, okay, so this paragraph block represents the base salary and its content is going to be that. This heading block represents the title, right? So we pull it from there. And like this job location, so that's the other thing. So we need more nested things. So this could be another group, and the group has a type, and the type gets associated with place, and then we have address, and it has type and all that stuff. That's This is turning into more of a planning session than anything else. And then you'd need a way to like basically generate the schema. So it'd be interesting, actually it'd be really neat, is if you could nest things. Like if you could say something like that would be kind of neat. How would you do that? That'd be super neat. Like if you were able to. Okay, now I'm really in the weeds. So here's what I'm kind of imagining here now. So you've got this group block, right? You've got this. So I come in here and I select the group block. Over here, we've got a panel that shows you the schema that's being built out. That would be interesting, even just for the purposes of what we're doing here, right? And it could start, you know, we could build out this object and just spit it out. And then that could be updated. Then as blocks are added to this particular thing, that gets updated and then somehow gets persisted somewhere. So basically it would be generated. Where would it need to be stored? All right. Let me grab a little, do this. This is turning into a massive, okay, so I need compose, panel body, inspector controls. Do I have any of that stuff blocked? I do not have any of that stuff. Oh, import. What is up here? Change all. And this is going to be from. No. Get out of here. Get lost. Do I have components? I don't have components. Okay. At WordPress components. What the hell? Okay, so all right, so we can import all that stuff. So in here, we could just take the block edit. So I can do something like, don't I have what's in props? I think props might have the name. I think we can go like const, you can say name equals props. Right, I think this will give me the block name. Let's just see. No, I don't need that. Okay, so I'm just gonna test this. So what I'm thinking, I don't know. Right now, this is super ugly. Paul's gonna be like, what are you doing? This is ridiculous. My custom control. Does it spit that out? It should give me a block name, right? Console. There we go. So I can just say basically if name is core group is not equal to core group, I'll just return block edit. All right, return block edit props. So this is going to only do this. It's only going to add this to the. We'll do like schema goes here. Goes here. Right. Paul. Oh, Paul is the guy that I was talking to you about this at WordCamp Canada. We were brainstorming at the table. So now this shouldn't appear here or here. It should appear somewhere right there. So that's where that would go. And then inside of this, right? So we could do this, and then so this inspector controls thing. So in here, I could, you know what? I could do it without this thing, because now that this is inserted on the edge, but you probably want to do it in two places. But anyways, that doesn't really matter. So in here, I'm gonna just I'm just gonna build a component. Const schema builder equals, do that. Put schema builder inside of panel body. All right, like this. And do I want to pass props to it? Do I want to pass props? Yes, I want to pass props. And the reason I want to pass props is because now this is going to allow us, I'll probably split that out, but by doing it this way, it's going to allow us to get access to the block itself, and then we don't have to be as sort of like, we don't have to like get the blocks and check all the blocks and do the blocks. Like we can do this a little bit easier. So I should be able to get like the instance ID for this block. This block now. Alright, to refresh this, should be able to grab the thing. Schema goes here, and then I should now see in my console we got, there we go, core group is selected. We got the client ID, which is great because now we can just give me the block, get block by client ID. And you say get block, I think it's by client ID, and then we say props client ID, and this is going to be parent block. All right, so then I can go like this, and I can just do, that's the parent block, so it should show me what I need, or what I want. It should show me what I want. I don't know why I said like, oh, get out of here. What is this? Get blocked by, oh, it's not a function. Well, when all else fails, we're going to clear this. We're going to go wp.data.select, and we're going to go core, and this will be block editor, and this will be get blocks, get block, get blocks by client ID. Seems like a weirdly named function to get a single block. I don't know if that's actually what I want. So, yep, there we go. Attributes, yeah, there we go. Okay, so now we got this. Now I have access to the inner blocks. We can say dot inner blocks here, right? So that's our list of blocks in here, and now we can loop through all of this stuff, and we can put this where it needs to go. Now, my understanding is all the group blocks don't necessarily, or sorry, where it goes inside of the stuff doesn't really matter. Where it goes inside of the schema. Like my understanding is you can put the schema. Oh, Paul. Hey, Paul. Paul's out over in YouTube. The Paul Byrne. Paul, if you want to jump over to Twitch, that would be. Do I not have? I'll have to get it for you. Just because there's a lot of chat going on here. Is there better docs for the data store so we can see all functions that are with those stores? There is not really. I mean, there is. So if you go into, if you go in here and you go into package reference, you can look at, there is some stuff. You go into data, if I can find it, where's the data? You go into data. There is a lot of stuff in here, so you can see some things. The problem is each individual store doesn't always have all of its selectors in here. So like, for example, let's see, what was I was just using the block editor, right? So if you scroll down here, there is some, okay, so yeah, there is some stuff. There's like get font size, what is there, get, what did I just use, get block. Oh, it's actually fairly frustrating. Use inner block props. So the data package. What library am I using here? Sorry, where am I? Core block editor. So data module reference. I'm sorry, this is probably what we want. The block editor's data. There you go. So there's a lot of stuff in here. So data module reference. This is verbose. There's a lot. Hey Paul, welcome to the stream. But you can look in here and see like what's in here. So get block root client, get blocks, get block by client ID, get blocks by name. It's a little bit the documentation is a bit weird. So for example, like you don't pass state. So let me just take a second and kind of talk about this for a second, because this is a bit on the frustrating side, and it's because of the way that the docs are are built. So I just want to, so for example, what do we just use? We just use get blocks by client ID. So if you look, get blocks by client ID, given an array of block IDs, or single block, I guess, ID, turns your surrounding array of block objects, right? So can I just say get block? Get block? Oh, okay, so I can just say get block. So that's easier. But either one, oh God, where'd I go here? I want to point out something very, very suspicious. So if I go get block, right, and I pass the client ID, I will get the block that I will get this particular block, right? I'm just going to refresh this. You can take a look. Right, so get in here. I can look in here now. I should have. Oh, so I should have. There we go. So I have the block, right? So that's it. That's it there. So that comes from here. Comes from blocks. Get. But oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Let's deregister this. Where'd that go? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. We're gonna deregister that. Sorry, I had two things going on. But basically, the long and short of it is, you don't need to pass state. That's an internal thing that you shouldn't ever have to worry about, right? So this is get. Those are the okay. So it's getting the block and then it's getting the inner blocks. That's exactly what we want. But notice I'm passing a client ID to get block. Well, in the docs, I'm gonna get my window over here. The docs show you passing state and then the client ID. You don't do this. This is done internally. It's done inside the store. So it always gets this. What you pass as the API user is the block client ID. And that's the same for any of these functions. So anything that has state first, shouldn't do that. Like you're not going to pass state like this. State gets passed automatically. And I don't even know if I can find this. Let me see. You know what? I'll do it in here. System call. Oops. Get block. So if we look at in get block, there we go. So here's the selectors, right? So this is what you're seeing, but the state is passed automatically by the Redux store. So you never need to worry about that, but it is unfortunately documented like this. And this is where the this is where the docs get its information is from this. And there's actually, I'm working on a pull request to add examples to all of this. And I'd like to be able to figure out a way to ignore that. So when the documentation is generated, it only sees this, right? So anyways, that's a pet peeve of mine. It's something that I'm working on trying to do. Oh yeah, well, I can talk to the powers that be. I can also just point you all in the direction of a pull request that I'm working on that does all that. So where is this? Add examples for the core block data. So this is the pull request that I've been working on. It's a big pull request. There's lots to do here, but basically what we're doing is we're adding examples to each one of the each thing, each store, right? So we're gonna do that. That's what I've been working on that. But that basically does this. So what's up? So there's some stuff in there now. So if we look at, there's some that have been done. So we look at like trying to think, edit site. No, this is kind of new. Notices. So notices in there. Yeah. So this is exactly what we're talking about here. So this is an example of some stuff that I added, right? Yeah, I'd love to do that too. So that's kind of hard because the way the documentation is built is that the documentation is built every time somebody merges to Gutenberg. Anytime something gets merged, this all gets rebuilt. There's a process behind the scenes, runs every 15 minutes or so. So the thing is, some of these will have since, like an @since tag. I don't know if I see an example of that anywhere, but if we look in like here, so let's see, is there a since? Oh, you spell it right, maybe. Okay, so that's a documentation thing. I guess it's more for PHP, but there are there, you know, there could be an @since in there, and it would tell you, right? Sometimes, you know, it'd be really great to be able to have that. Now, it's a custom tool that builds all this documentation, so there is means of doing this. Like we added a couple things to actually ignore some stuff, because there was also the added confusion, which is so cool, is that some of the selectors are exposed as well. So people were using the internal store selector instead of the wrapping component. Let me see if I can find an example of that. I'm just gonna do a little search in here. So I think it's what is it like at ignore? Is that it? Yeah, right here. So this is one that we did. So right here, so returns all, okay, ignored from documentation as the recommended usage is via use select. So people were calling get categories directly, and that's not actually the way that it was supposed to be done. So the recommended usage is via a use select. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff that we're still working through. Like there's a lot of documentation. It's hard to manage, especially when it's automated. But anyhow, that's my tangent. So Paul's here. Hi, Paul. So Paul, we've been working on some stuff. Not really getting too far with it, but yeah. I don't know. Is he still here? He's still here. So I have really nothing to show. But oh, I forgot to mention this. There's a thing on Twitch right now that if you subscribe, you can get 3 months of Apple TV. So yeah. So you don't have to subscribe to my channel, and Amazon, the Prime subs and resubs, I think don't count. But if you're not subscribed and you want to do it, you'll get 3 months of Apple TV Plus, which is a thing. So apparently that's a thing. But anyways, yeah. So what was I doing here? So what we were sort of talking about is creating a wrapper, and the wrapper would have the schema in here, Paul. Let me show you what I'm doing. So far I've got this, basically I've got this like schema type is at the group level, and then inside the group we've got all of this stuff. So indicating what needs to be where might be an interesting thing. So if we did a pattern, like if we added am I contractually obligated to say what? Not to subscribe? Yeah. No, I'm not contractually able to say anything. I was mentioning it because I don't usually do the drops thing. I don't really do any of that, but I thought, I mean, Apple TV is pretty cool, so thought I'd mention it. You don't have to subscribe to me. I don't care. I'm doing this regardless, but I'm just saying, you want to get some free Apple TV, go get it. Kevin, why are you being like that? Kevin, why are you being like that? Kevin, you're the best. Maybe I should have done it in like my big boy announcer voice. In a world where no one has Apple TV. That's horrible. Okay, so what I was thinking was we could do something along the lines of like Kevin! Apply attributes to like the paragraph block and the header block, because the majority of these things are like the majority of these things are text fields, right? And we can work out some of the other details, but so I'm going to return that. And I'm going to say if name dot equals core paragraph graph, or no, come on, or heading, then I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to say schema prop. right? So we'll do that. So the idea is here that it's going to add these things, right? Which would be kind of neat. And then what we can do here, they all seem to end as text. Yeah. So what I'm sort of thinking, and this is super rough, but the idea would be that we could have some like we could do some variations, or we could have a pattern that gets insorted. So if we do a variation, say for register block variation for a paragraph, right? And we'll call it schema builder. Yeah, sure. We'll do job description, right? And the schema prop would be the description, which I don't know if that's what it actually is, but let's look. Description, yeah, right? So then that's really cool that just did that. I wonder if it's going to work. So we could register a series of block variations, which I think might be a bit overkill, but we could do that. Would using an ifs switch be better to use? Yeah, maybe. Like you mean in here? Yeah, totally. I'd also probably do like, do an array of allowed blocks, and this is not production code. You need to scrape from Schema API at some point. Yeah. So if we did this, right, then we could come into here and we could create a uh-oh. Who broke my code? Who was it? Description. Kevin, show up, turn off my lights, break my code. Unacceptable. This seems like a very, very strange place. Okay. What? All right. What am I doing here? So I probably just didn't do this right. Is this where it broke? Let's see. No. What? Okay. So let's just. I'm gonna start undoing some things. I don't know what I broke here. All its fails? I'm just going to turn everything off until I figure it out. Yeah, I just absolutely broke something in the editor. I just don't even see where description is. Is this? Okay. So it's got to be something I did stupid in here. It's got to be what I did. Yep. Okay. Stupid. Because nothing else is. Oh. Oh, God. Huh? Yeah, see, it's not production code. I told you. It's garbage. It's garbage code. Well, Kevin didn't write it, so it's definitely garbage code. All right, let's try this again. Let's get back to the bottom, the bare minimum, right? Okay. What was I doing? What was I doing here? I was registering a variation, register block variation, core, come on, for paragraph. That's, yeah, sure. No, not title. It'll be description. Description, I'm gonna spell it wrong purposely. Description, okay. So now, Filing group. Oh yeah, not a no, it's fine. You're like, don't go back there. Okay, cool. That's cool. Thank you for that. I knew it was something. Oh, the scope? Okay, anyways, I'll dig into that. Thanks for digging that up, Jimotherv. Okay, so let's see. So now I should have, wait, no, I'm gonna go back to this post and I'm gonna paragraph. This is what? Description? Is it not? Oh, I got an error in there. I'm gonna call it job description. Let's do that. Job description, that shows up as job description. So we'll put this in here, save this draft, right? So now, like what we could do is, oh, what the, so there are schema ability, state is, oh, you know why? Do you know why it's not defined? Because that's the error that you would get if you pass state to any of the store stuff. That's what you would get. That's how that would work. That's how that would work. Okay, so we grab this and we grab this. We can see now in their state, we've got two blocks. We got a client ID, so this is going to be the heading block, right? The attributes are, there's no schema prop there. But this one, there's no schema prop there. There's no schema prop there? Why is there no schema prop? Interesting. Oh, because it's not in the group. That's why. My bad. My bad. So this should actually keep spitting out. Yeah. So the cool thing here is when you update this, it's gonna see it keeps pulling all this stuff, which is really nice. So we got schema prop is description. So now you can take that description. Now we could loop through all of these things, build out this thing, take the description and the value. We'd have to know what the value is. Luckily, the rich text, the .content. We can pull that out, so we can start building these things out. We can do some pretty simple stuff. Now that is going to be a one-to-one for like if it's on here, right? That's going to be one-to-one. So like if it appears, then it can get spit out. The problem that we're going to run into is like, what if we don't want to show the description, or what if we're in a position where the description doesn't matter? Or Paul, there's some fields that you were talking to me about, and I can't remember what they are. Ones that like are required, but are like ones that we need to have in there, but don't necessarily need to be shown. Like, so if you have a salary, maybe you don't want to show the salary. So how do we handle that? You know, like it would be best if you could just like delete it and it would go away. But I don't know. So there's some things in there. Yeah, we need to scrape from Schema.org at some point. Hide. Why? Are you coming to get me? So you're thinking it would be like a toggle, like hide, like a visibility thing. So we could do that. We still need to have it inputtable. Yeah, so you could have like you could input this field, but then over here you could have it hide. So I think what we need to define is a couple of blocks, really like the heading block and the paragraph block. Like list block, would list block be one too? Like if there's examples of like job. Is there an example of like a job? What's the word I'm looking for here? Where you'd want to have like credentials. Okay, so there's that. So the other thing. Okay, so I think a group. Yeah, I think the way that we'd want to do it is we'd have a group block. This is getting. There's a lot. Maybe we can dynamic. Oh, here's what we do. So Paul was talking about pulling in from Schema, and it would be very cool to be able to like. Say things, for example, like some of this stuff, like this type is job posting. That's cool. But there's also a type of occupational experience requirements. we don't want to manually generate all of these. So it might be neat to pull from that and generate a type, a variation for each type. And those types become blocks, like groups. You know what I mean? Maybe even patterns. And they're registered in the thing. And then you're gonna dynamically generate a whole bunch of patterns, of groups, of group block variations that would represent each type. And then based on that, I wonder if you could, can we dynamically generate patterns? So patterns are done in PHP. Right, so we could, but we'd have to have all these blocks registered already. Okay. So when you register a pattern, patterns are stored in here. Now, can we? So what I don't know off the top of my head is whether or not patterns are actually, whether or not you can dynamically generate patterns, like register block pattern. Like, is there a register block? There must be a register block pattern. Yeah, there is register block pattern. Okay. So what's an example? Okay, so we just do it this way. So we register these block patterns. Okay, so so because this is going to be probably some kind of plugin add-on, or it's going to be part of our Paul's plugin, we're going to want to do a bunch of stuff on the PHP side. We're going to need to, I guess we're going to need to generate all of these patterns and the blocks that make them up. So if we take this, right, I'll take this pattern, and then in my PHP function, I'm going to go ahead and register the pattern, and it's going to be Schema builder. And this will be let's say the job posting pattern. Job posting. Cache the API. Yeah, we can do all of that. Right. So then we'll have whatever. This is job posting. Okay, I'm just gonna. What do we have going on here? I'm just gonna call this. Don't need all of this crap. Just gonna make this a little bit simpler. Okay, okay, so then in here we'll need to pretty much put the output of this sort of. This is clearly not right, but we could do that, right? So we'll put the pattern in here. We'll need to generate this all out. Okay, I need to escape all the things and add space. Okay. So, boop, 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 boop. And yes, I'm going to make you all sit here and watch me do this. It's probably a way faster way of doing this, but I don't care. Okay, and we're gonna just get rid of some of this white space. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do that. Oops. That. 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 Okay, so we got this. So we got job posting. Okay, so now let's just see. Let's just see. Back over to black. So, yeah, sure we will. Okay. And then I go to my patterns. You should have a bunch of categorized patterns. And there it is. Product, no, job type. Boom. So that inserts that. Is that? Oh, look at that! Now it knows it's a job posting. Shows up as job posting, but it doesn't show up over here. So we got the job title and we got the description. So we could do that. But the thing that we're gonna have to do is gonna have to be a couple of things, because so we can build these patterns out, right? And that's fine. Because they're really just gonna be a bunch of things. But what we are gonna have to do is make sure the schema props assigned to each one. So like the header block, which is here, heading, I'm going to need to add pretty much, am I going to break this? I'm going to need to add like the schema prop for that, right? And this will be title, right? So we need to have each one of those. I don't know what that's going to, if I just broke that or not, but I guess we'll see. I guess we'll just go ahead and see, won't we? Oh, God Christ. Put that in there. No, that's not it. That's not it. Get out of here. So let's look in the code editor. Let's see. So we got schema prop is title. Schema prop is description, right? And then up here we've got pattern. Oh, meta pattern name, SQL names, posting. Group block has got. Oh, this is the group. Oh, okay. So for the group, we're gonna. I think we'd need to add. We'd probably want to do something like schema type, right? Because each group will have schema type, and then this will be job posting. Something like that. So the busy work here, what was that caption on my image? I'm a guy. Maybe, let's look. I don't even know, Kevin. Maybe that's what it was. I don't remember, let's look. My patterns. Kevin is a guy. That's right, Kevin is a guy. Okay, so categorize. So we'll insert this. 20, yeah. Well, no, you can't assume anything. You can't assume anything. And I respect you. I respect your pronouns. And it sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but I do actually respect your pronouns. Anyways, so we've got okay. What happened there? Let's get rid of these. Okay, I'm gonna just save this. And did I do that right? Did I break this? Schema type. It's weird because the group, I feel like the group should have that. So anyways, this is in the weeds, but I think this might be the approach. And I'm sure, I can almost guarantee that Paul was like trying to talk to me and tell me this, and I wasn't really listening to him. I like Paul. He's a smart dude. Invalid attributes. So name is job posting, but maybe I need to. Oh, wait, what did I call it? What did I call it here? Schema type. Right? Core group. Is that not what I put in there? There's a schema. Schema type. Oh, I put it in the wrong spot. That's why. That's why. I put it in the wrong place. It needs to go here. Let's go there. I think that's why. And this will be schema type. And this still might be wrong. I'll have to look into it, but this is going to be job posting. Okay. Because that's the group. The layout type is constrained and so on and so forth. Why is that? Oh, I see. Weird. Okay, so the group, that's just not getting that. So maybe I need to have a group inside of a group. Well, anyways, that would be the idea, that we'd have this, and we'll figure out the details of that. I wonder if maybe the group needs to be nested inside of a group or something. Like it's just not getting anything. It's not seeing, this group is not seeing any of the attributes that it needs. It's gonna do that, and then edit data. It's not getting. I have an idea. I might just do schema type and that. I'm gonna do a bit. This is a bit nuts, but I'm just add this to everything. I'm just wondering if that's what's going on here. This is not being registered. So, oh boy, what happened there? So patterns, and categorize patterns. Spit that out there, and we'll go to code editor. Yeah, still not doing it. Okay, well that's fine. Whatevs. Okay, cool. So, anyways, I think that makes sense. So if we pull the schema, which is available basically here, right? We'd need to, that's a huge schema though. I wonder if I wonder if there's subsets. Like, is there a subset of this? Oh, there you go. So we could pull the job posting, for example. So this might be an interesting way of doing it. So, oh, that's not it. I want the actual schema for that. Okay. Okay, So okay, so maybe the plan would be along these lines. Like maybe what we'd want to do is we'd say like one, pull in the API, pull in the schema from basically this URL. Right, then you need to cache that somewhere, cache it somewhere. Cache somewhere. Then once that's cached, what you want to do is you want to generate get all of the at types definitions and create group block variations from them using the type the value as for the schema type attribute, right? Then it's a lot to do at runtime. Right? So we get all the definitions from there, create group block variations like we did over here, like a group like this, right? So the schema type is job posting, and then because there's gonna be a ton of types, right? Like each one of the like type is gonna be educational thing, and blah 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 blah, and organization and all this stuff. So we'll have these groups available for them, right? And then so for each type. Each type, so we'll create a pattern for each type. Using register block pattern, add hide toggles to each block with oh, we'd probably want to like lock, make them content only editing. Oh, this would be important because we make them content only editing. Then what we can do is then we can add the toggles in there so they can hide them, but they can't delete them. It also means that we'd want to make sure that we could like let them be moved around but hidden, right? But hide them so they're in there but they don't get shown in the front end. So then this would give them all the tools that they need to insert stuff, right? And then and then we need, and then, okay, so then we need, so once everything's inserted, the next step would be to generate the schema dynamically based on block content, and then save it somewhere. Is there anything I'm missing there, Paul? Yeah. Well, we got 7 steps, and then of course the last step would be, you know, then this, and then of course, oops, and then 9 is profit. I don't know, Paul, is there anything else in there that we'd want to do? Like, we need to pull that schema in. Now, this is not something that we'd want to do very often. We'd want to pull that in. I mean, I don't know how often it updates, but you could probably do a query against the version. Is there a version in here? So do they keep a version? No, it doesn't look like it. Kevin, it's very simple. We are trying to generate patterns and blocks that will in turn generate schema. So, for example, we want to have a job posting on a page. So what we want to be able to do is insert a pattern that represents that block, that job posting, and then based on the content of each block. So for example, there'll be a title, right? So and that's probably the post title, for example, right? And then we'll have a description, which is a paragraph block, and then we'll have additional requirements, which is also a paragraph block. And all of these pieces, the content of which is input to the block editor, but then that's pulled out and generates this giant JavaScript object, or an array or whatever it is, and serializes it, and then that is saved, and then output, so SEO can scrape this stuff properly. That's basically what it is. It's an interesting project. Yeah. I love how it took me half an hour to explain it, and you wrote it like in 1 second. That's exactly what it is. We want to be able to have a means of generating this schema based on the contents of the block editor. That's pretty much it. So there's a lot, and I thought probably the easiest way of doing it is generating patterns, because there's like a lot of nested things in here, right? Yeah, exactly it. On the pattern or on nested patterns. And so what you'll do is you'll insert a job posting pattern, and then it will have all of whatever the sort of mandatory things are, right? Like there'll be a bunch of things that can go in there. You can paste the schema and you get a pattern. No, other way around. Oh, I see what you're saying. That's kind of neat too. That's kind of what we're doing though, because what Paul wants to do, and I think it's interesting, is to ingest the schema from here, which has got everything, right? And then we can generate our patterns in the pattern library for use throughout the site, but then also insert those patterns, right? And so have them all nested and everything. So it just, there's a lot of connecting of the dots. That's kind of where we are. So that's and we didn't get very far today, but I think that this is an interesting way of, it's an interesting approach. So, I don't know. Of course it gives you an idea. We're going to come back next week and Kevin's going to be like, oh, hey, you know that silly little schema thing? I built it. We in the weeds like we like to be. Exactly. So I think now that we have a plan, it only took me 2 hours, but I think now that we have a bit of a plan here, I think there's a lot of really interesting things in here. Like being able to dynamically generate a bunch of block patterns is really cool. I think this will be super interesting thing to do. So we can start with this. Yeah. So like doing this, it will be pretty straightforward. It'll be just like a WP remote get, wouldn't it? Like probably want to do this like super early. Knit. Alright, function. Go battle equals WP remote get, and we'll just pass that stinking little URL in there and we'll just see what happens. All right, that's probably all we need to do. Is there a schema for patterns and is it always up to date? A schema specifically for WordPress patterns? I don't think so. Let's look up. Okay. I know there's like a get body thing. I gotta look at that. Let's look at the examples. These examples. This is a nice little example. Let's try this. I'm gonna copy that. That's way better than the code, the junk that I just wrote. So we're gonna put that in there, and we're gonna do that. And we're gonna get rid of this crap, and then we're gonna save this. I'm gonna apparently fatal out if I don't get rid of that. So let's see, and then I'm just gonna drop a little breakpoint in here. So we're gonna run this. So let's get over here and we'll see what happens. Let's response body, class, graph. There we go. So we got everything. So we've done the first part. So now there's 2,855 of these things, which is crazy talk. There's a lot of them. So we've got ID, archive held, so we can probably right, so that's going to be our JSON, right? That's everything that we need here. We've kind of done the first part right there. So we have to store this because we don't want to be doing this every single time. So we can put this somewhere. So in here we could was this an array? We can loop through the array and get the thing and see what the ID is and then start building that out. It's kind of neat. So let's stop this. So in here we're gonna say for each response body as schema, right? We can say use the scheduler and put it in a transient. No, you don't want to put it in a transient because it may not exist. What scheduler? What are you talking about? Like the set transient thing? I mean, I think this is something that we want to do very sparingly. Use the schedule. What's the scheduler? What are you talking about, the schedule? Like a cron? Oh, that's what you're talking about, a cron job. Yeah. Sorry, yes. Okay. You can do that. I think what we need to figure out is like, when is this done? Like, I don't know how often schema.org gets updated. It might get updated once. Like, this might be the kind of thing that when you activate the plugin, you grab this then, right? And then after that, maybe there's like a once a year it runs. Like I don't know, but that's not a bad job. That's not a bad idea. Like, WordPress cron is a little bit unreliable, but yeah. So what did we have in here? So for each response body, as schema, we can say schema. What's this one called? ID equals schema. I don't remember what it looks like, so we can drop that in there. We'll do this. We'll hit the debug. We'll do this again. Boom. Oh Lord, what happened? Forever transient. You're a forever transient, you thing, you. Schema. Okay, so response body is a class. Oh, right, of course. So that's not what I want. So I want. Can I access it like that? That's the name of the class. So response body, like this, at graph. I wonder if that. I don't know if that'll work. Seems to be working. Is that giving me grief though? Why is it yelling at me? Oh, maybe I have to do it like this. I don't know if that's gonna work. I gotta look up the access, the syntax for that. How we do that. Paul, do you know that? You know how to do it, Paul. Ooh. Cannot use type of class array. Okay. It's not array. It's weird. I'm not entirely sure how to do that. Maybe that's how you do it. This is probably gonna give me errors. Oh, what am I doing? No, I need to access that. So. Okay. PHP std class at symbol accessor. Did I not just do that? I just did that. Oh. Huh. No, that's, why is that not working? Oh, because it's uninitialized at that point. I'm such a dope. Okay. So it's going to be graph, and it's going to be ID. I guess it's uninitialized at that point. So what's this? Schema. Okay, that's got everything I need. Okay, perfect. Okay, sorry, I was doing this wrong. I'm an idiot. I'm just so stupid. So it's going to be schema, and that's also a class, I believe. So we're going to be doing a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and we're going to be going in here. We go at ID, right, and then in here we can go if ID. I don't know what I'm doing. If ID, I'll just do that. I'm going to drop it down here so I can see what the ID is. Because we're at the point now where it's just like, where am I doing? What am I doing? Where am I? Is this it? Okay, so let's see. So the ID is going to be schema citations. And now we have all the schemas, which is pretty cool. And this is the schema right here. So we get creative work. Range includes, I don't know what. So we're in the weeds here. So I think what we need is a processing function to do this. So yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. So if there's no error, then maybe I will just do this. I will go set transient This is going to be transient. It's going to be schema builder. The value is going to schema. The value is going to be response body. It's going to be this response body got graph, and we're going to set it for PHP max. What is it? Int. PHP. Oh God. I want it to be set forever, like a really long time. Like minutes. Is it hours and seconds? No, is there days? I don't think there's a days. Okay. Days and seconds times whatever, 365. All right, so that should save it for an entire year. And then in here, I should say, be able to do this if get transient, and this keep it to right. Okay, so if I could say if false equals get transient, bingy to bang, bing bong bing. Then I'm gonna run all this. If it's not, then I'm just gonna ignore it. And why is this yelling at me? Because I need another one of those. So there you go, Kev. There you go. Forever transient. Well, for a year, but there's no guarantees that that is actually gonna not be a thing. So it might not be a thing. Don't you think you need to try to catch? Well, you know, not sure that can error. What can't error? Well, I mean, we're checking for errors here. Checking to make sure that that is an error, but I guess you're right. You probably don't need that in there. I don't know where it would actually error out. What is happening here? Well, unless it throws an error, which I don't think it will actually throw anything. Like this will return an error, and that's what this is checking for, and this is the error response. But unless like remote get doesn't fire or something, yeah. Okay, so this is going to be get and cache the cache the schema from schema.org. Yeah. Yep. I'm not overly worried. This is again not production code. I just want to get this sort of happening here. Right? So that runs, and so when do we want Corey? Hey Corey, how's it going? Good to see you. All right, so this is actually not what we don't want to do anything in here yet.
Great, it's CR0 IBIT.
CR0 IBIT. Good job. So we'll do this.
Great, it's CR0 IBIT.
There it is, but so actually what we can do here, this is what we're gonna do. So what are we gonna do here? There's a funky way of doing this where you can get the schema like this. And I don't, is that how I did it? I don't know. Let's go look at the article that I literally wrote about this. I can't remember. Developer blog. Oh no, it's not on the homepage anymore. There's a tricksy little piece. I spelled that wrong. There's a tricksy little piece of code that I like to use, and I've used a bunch of times. Thanks for the API translates. Where what you do is you check for it, like false. Okay, that's it. So there we go. So that's what we'll do. So false becomes, and then inside of here, we're gonna make schema set to that. Now, the coding standards might yell at you a bit for this, but this is a nice way of doing this, because what it allows you to do is in here, after this now, we can go, oh, we have schema. Schema exists, right? Well, we can just, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Var dump. You can just see what I'm talking about here. It's been cached. We can go schema. So what it's gonna do is either gonna like take it or it's gonna rebuild it, right? Actually, it's not gonna do that here, but I will fix this and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this we're gonna hide. So this is essentially schema, right? So then we're gonna say if there's no thing here, I'm gonna say schema. This is gonna be set to this. Right, then we're going to cache schema, and then the cool thing here is, whoa, what is happening? We're gonna, what this is gonna do, oh, for fucking, sorry. What that's gonna do is that's gonna instantiate the variable schema, save it, and then now schema is either gonna be this one or it's gonna be this one. But I don't want to return early. What I want to do is I want to grab this. We're gonna get, so this is gonna get the schema, get the cached schema, or retrieve it and then cache it, and then retrieve it, cache it, then use it. Retrieve it, cache it, and then use it, right? So this is gonna say, give me the schema. Okay, well, schema is false, then it's gonna do this. If it's not false, it's gonna just do it right here. So then this becomes the process, the schema part of the show, right? So, I mean, we can do this and I can abstract this out, right? Like I don't need all of this stuff. So then in here, we can start doing this. So I can say, maybe what I'll do is I'll just grab this. All right, I'll plunk this in here. I'm gonna uncomment this junk. Right. This becomes schema, which makes this actually as what do we call this? Element as node. This is called a node. And then we'll say node is the thing. And then I'm gonna move that in. That's gonna stop yelling at me. So now if I get down here, now it should either give me the cached version or not. So I should, no, not that. I should refresh this. So there we go. So we've got schema regardless, right? And now this should all be cached. And see, we've got our ID, whatever we're calling it, node ID type, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah. So now we can parse through all that stuff. And this is the part that I'm gonna put a bit of thought into, because I don't know how I don't know what we need to do here. We need to build patterns based on this, right? Would fail if the requests fail. If the requests fail, yeah, it would definitely fail. Well, we could, yeah, we could put something in here to be like schema, and then we could go schema equals an empty array. Well, yeah, we'd have to do some error handling in there, right? So schema. Oh, you know what we'll do? We'll just go like, I'll just save this and go if schema. Right. So schema that is not falsy, right? Then this stuff will run. I wish I had auto formatting for PHP. I think I have it set up. I might have turned it off though. Let's stop this. All right, so why is this yelling at me? Oh, boop, boop. That's why. There's one. Yeah, so then that won't try to run on there, right? I think if no schema return, boohoo. Yeah, yeah. Else here, this is the best way to handle it. Die. What? That's the best way to handle errors in PHP. Just die. Just straight up die. This would also probably have been caught with the try catch that you told me to take out. So we'll do this. This is failing silently, but whatever. Yeah, we can do that. Anyways, so we're gonna do this thing. Process the schema. So the schema gets processed here. Need to figure out how that works. So what's the second step, right? So caching it. Okay, we've already got that. So this is. Can I do like a emoji check mark? Oh yeah, white heavy check mark. Bam, done. Get all type duplicate group block variations from these using the value for the schema. Okay. So, yeah, that's going to be the fun part. So we could do that. Oh, you know what? It's getting kind of late. But I think we have a really great start here. Why are we seeing citation? Oh, sorry, Paul, I didn't see your question there. Why are we seeing citation like in here? Because I think it's just because it's the first one. Just run this. So in here, so citation. So if we look at the full schema, you can see each one of these things, right? IDs, schema. So, I mean, what we would like, I don't know what the best way to do this is, because we have citation. What's node? Nice. Type is. Kevin, I don't care. So domain includes. All right. So Kevin's like, I'm gonna prove you wrong. Over here in my Thailand on the beach. This is an educational channel. Yes, it is an educational channel. You are absolutely right. But shut up. I'm just kidding. I saw the funniest thing the other day. It was Maya Rudolph on Hot Ones, but I think she was like a spoof of it, and she is losing her mind on the host, and it is the funniest thing I've ever seen. I laughed so hard, out loud laughed. Yeah, so I think I mean, my understanding now is that we basically can start building out patterns based on this, but I don't. We can register patterns, but how can we understand what goes in those patterns? So if I look at the node, we've got range includes, creative work, schema text. So we're going to need to store, but where are the properties stored for each one? Label, citation. Maybe citation's not the best example here. Date, money, specific. Okay, so the node has got subclass sub superseded by. So if I keep jumping through here, can I can edit the breakpoint here, can I? Expression. There we go. So. Oh, here we go. It's going to be break when expression evaluates to true. Okay, I'm going to say ID is equal to schema should be job posting. Oh, John, that was awesome. Okay. So this is the thing. So in here we've got subclass of schema intangible. But where do we get? Okay, so they are defined somewhere in the schema, but where in the schema? That's what I'm wondering. So like what I need to understand is base salary. So like if I can I find base salary in here? So I'm starting to get it now. Domain includes. Okay, so the domain includes I get it. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. So if I go schema job posting, right? Schema. Schema job posting. Type is so. Oh, I get it. So the type refers. Okay, cool. So if we were to look for FAQ, no, would that also be of type class? It is FAQ. So, okay, so the type refers to the top level thing. What schema section? There is no schema section. What are you talking about? Sorry, what schema section? Oh, in here? So I think I get it now. I think I get it. So what we want to find is all the types. All the types. Not types. All the so the node is of type RDFS class. So this is one that wraps things. Right? As a class of intangible. Okay. So oh boy. So we need to like parse this a number of ways. Right, so property, okay, so a property gets, domain includes it, creative work. Okay, that makes sense. So, is there anything here? What's this? Service location. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Music video object. Hilarious. Property. Come on. Okay. So we would need. Okay, so there's gonna be a lot of parsing to figure out. So in this case, we've got the type is RDF. Okay, so what we need to do is basically probably to build out. So what if we did something like this? We did like patterns, right? And it's going to be an array. I'm using shorthand arrays because that's how I want to do it. And then what we'll do is loop. Oh god, this is going to be so non-performant. So we're going to take patterns. So we'll loop through each thing, and what we want is the type. We'll say type, right? No, we'll do that. We'll just, maybe I'll do type as well. Let's be type. Okay, and the type is going to be node type. Type, right? So then what we'll do is if type is equal to RDFS class, we're gonna pop it or push it onto the end of it, right? We'll go patterns, patterns ID, right? Patterns ID. We'll do that. Boop, boop. And we'll make it an array. No sign? And then now down here, we can say, this is so unperformant, but for each patterns, patterns, is probably a better way of doing this. Pattern, like some kind of like inspection thing, pattern. I wonder if the HTML processor could help us here. Okay, so now we should be able to see the patterns here now. So let's stop this. I'm gonna disable break. I'm gonna remove breakpoint, add new breakpoint. I'm gonna run this, and then let's see what we can do. Run this. So patterns. What's patterns look like? Patterns is what? Oh, no, duh. Idiot. We're like, oh, what are we here, Kev? What's your big O notation telling us here? So we're ON2 because we're gonna basically have to we're gonna loop schema and we're gonna loop patterns based off schema. For each pattern, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be super non-performant, but we'll be fine. We'll get through it. Okay, so patterns has 900 things in it. So we have schema. Okay, so we got all this stuff. Right? We got all that stuff. Okay, so that's cool. So we should have job posting here, I'm assuming. Somewhere. I don't know where, but somewhere in here we should have job posting. There's like, what, 900 of them? Okay. Somewhere there's job posting. Anyways, so, okay. Hilarious. So we're going to create that. Now, what's the best way of doing it? I guess probably what we're going to do. Can we... Okay, for each pattern, as pattern, we're going to... I have to look at this again. I don't remember what the structure is. Oops. Can I do that? Okay. So schema. So ID is schema citation, right? That's what we're plunking that in as. Schema, blah, blah, blah. So then domain includes schema creative work. So, okay. Okay, so, oh Lord, this is so many loops of loops of loops. Basically what we're gonna wanna do here, I think, is we're gonna need to loop all patterns, each check, loop all patterns, check schema, check each schema to see if the pattern I'm just gonna have to do it that way. If the is part of the pass the schema to the pattern on line 110. Yeah. We could, yeah, but that doesn't really help us though, because we want to know, like, we need to know what properties are in the pattern, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? So if we get here, we're already, let's say we're at the 10th item, right? We need to now go back and rescan all items that are not this and add it to the array. This is problematic. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know if we can do it here, because the idea is that, like, so if the class is defined after the property, a property that it uses, then we're already past that point in the loop. So that's why doing it this way might work. Or we basically just get to this point and then we re-loop it. We re-loop everything. We do it inside of this. Look at the properties and fetch that from the schema object. But how can we fetch it from the schema object? That's, I think I need to do this a little bit better. Like, once we have stuff, like, I'd like to be able, it would be optimal to be able to be like, okay, so schema, it's just the number of arrays. Like, we're gonna have to loop through each array. Like, we're just gonna have to loop through the array and see what the ID is on everything. Like, because they're classes. Let's look at this. So we have classes. So schema is self-referencing. No, Paul, I get that, but let's find, so class, so subclass, so okay, but we have a property. Can you write down some of the steps that you want to do? Yeah, I'm trying to just think it's RDFs. What's this subclass? So the thing is, like, the property is domain include. So this means that this property, the confirmation number, is part of whatever these are. I don't know why that's sub property. Schema text. Range includes. Does range includes mean it's part of it? You know what? Hold on. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure this out. Base salary. So I'm gonna say if I'm gonna do a breakpoint in. I'm gonna do a breakpoint here. I'm gonna kill that breakpoint. Kill this breakpoint. I want to do edit breakpoint. I go ID is equal to base salary. Be what? Does it have to be schema base salary? I think it is, right? Schema base salary. Do this. I'll run it. Did I do that wrong? Oh. Okay, so that didn't run. So, am I doing this wrong? Let's look in here. I'm gonna go, sorry, 1 second. I'm gonna go base salary. So the ID is schema : base salary. So as I'm looping through here, I want to edit this. So I want to say ID is 1, 2, 3 schema base salary. Here, there we go. Okay, so base salary. So the node domain includes so the domain includes is what I want. So can I get that? So if I don't have that in there, I guess I can just say if it's not in there, add it, right? That might be the way to do it, Paul. I think you might be right. So the thing we want is what? Domain includes, and it's going to be node and I'll just do the same thing here. Domain schema domain includes. You know what? I'm not going to stop streaming today. I'm just going to keep going. All right, so I don't need that. So this should give me that, right? So if I see this domain includes, let's just refresh this. 24-hour stream. So domain includes is up here. So it's got 2 items, right? And then so in here. So what I want to do is, if it's a class, I'm going to add that. And then we're going to loop through the domain includes. Wait, are we? No. Maybe we should do this a different way. Maybe we should do this. So what is the, okay, schema employee remote job posting. So is it safe to assume, Paul, you know this way more than I do, and I feel like every time you say something, I'm like, no, and then I'm like, oh wait, actually you're right. So apologies. I'm assuming the employee role and the job posting, these are all classes, right? So if I look up schema employee role, like in here, schema employee role. Okay, it looks like okay, so anything in here I think is safe to assume. I think this is not what I want to do, so maybe we can do this for each. Okay, so then we're gonna I wonder if we're gonna find a class. Okay, so it doesn't have, classes don't have domain includes. Can I do this? Else. If domain includes, right, this means we're processing property, right? We will need to get down to the primitive objects. Okay, so where, okay, so what does the primitive object look like? Where does that, oh, is that what range include is? So primitive, like schema number? Schema monetary amount, int? Okay, where is that defined? So if I were to look at base salary here, it's the base salary, right? So this range includes, so this is the whole definition for base salary. So we've got schema number. So does that mean I gotta look at schema number now? There's a lot of schema numbers. Is there no? Oh, there's only 94 of these. There it is. Okay, so but do we need that? Like, what do we need? What do we need that for? Validation? Because I mean, at the point of which, like, is it? It's not output in the schema anywhere, is it? Like, it's not output in here, right? All right. So anyway, so what I'm thinking, so we need to get things that are associated with things, right? So if domain includes means we're processing a property. Does this work in PHP? I now can't remember. That's really funny. Okay, I'm gonna edit this breakpoint. Edit the breakpoint. So I want to say if domain includes. I'm gonna do this actually. Edit this breakpoint. Includes. Run this. Rerun this. Undefined property. Okay, I'm gonna say is set. Oh, I should just be able to do this, right? That, right? Shouldn't I be able to do that bitwise? That's bitwise. You're bitwise. Domain includes. Domain includes. Domain includes. Is a class. What's that? Doing that? It shouldn't be doing. Oh. Let's try that again. Okay, so that makes it false. Okay, that's cool. So this is the thing. So the node here is going to be a class. So it has none. Okay, perfect. That's exactly what I want. Yeah, I was definitely thinking JS. So this is going to validate as null, and then if it's null, it's going to be false. All right, because it's not a property. It won't be there, so it's null. So this is the null coalescing operator in PHP. So, okay, so if we have a domain, then we're processing a property. So for each, so then what I want is not this to happen. To run this again, and where's the gun? Rerun this. So then domain includes is an array. So we should be able to say, is it always an array? Let's see. I have a feeling is array domain includes. We'll do it this way. Domain includes. Right. We're gonna say so. The domain includes. It's got two classes. Okay. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna say. This is hilarious. So if array array key exists, ID this is a lot of, I haven't written this much PHP in forever. It's all starting to come back to me. And then in patterns, so if the array key exists in ID the patterns, right? If it doesn't exist, we're going to say patterns ID equals new array. And then we're going to say patterns ID dot push. All right. Oh no, array push, right? Array push the array. So it's going to be an array of arrays, and then the value. What? The array. And then the value is going to be oh, sorry, I have to for each of this for each domain as class, I guess. No, as property. No, class. So then if the class is in patterns already, if it's not there, then we're going to add it, right? And then we're gonna do this, and then I'm going to push class with no. Holy crap. Okay, so the ID, right? So if domain includes, so so if the ID, which is this thing, is in, if it's not in there, we're going to add it. Boom, right? And then we're going to do that. Okay, and then I'm going to push that with class. Right? 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 Is that right? And I'm going to get rid of this because I don't need this. I don't need that anymore. I'm going to stop it here. I don't know what this is going to do. So I'm going to say else. I don't know if this case, does this happen? My concern here is that if your domain has a single item, then it's not actually generated as an array. With one item, it's just a single thing. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do this. I think I want to do this up here. If the domain includes, I'm going to check to see, okay. I'm going to say, does the class exist in list of patterns? Right? So we'll do that. And if it, okay. If not, add it. If not, add it. Okay, so that's gonna add this in there. Then we're gonna go through each thing, right? Because, right? And then I don't know what this is gonna do. So I'm just gonna do this and say, I don't know. Maybe that'll break. I don't know. Maybe it won't. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. Let's get rid of this. No, remove the breakpoint. Redo this. We're gonna refresh this. So let's see. Patterns has 1,470 things in it, which feels wrong. That's wrong. It's immediately wrong. Oh. There's 2 items in there. Am I doing this backwards? Am I doing this backwards? I am doing this backwards. I'm doing this backwards. That's why. Okay, so this is wrong. So this is not the right thing. It has to go the other way around. So what I need to do is go back to the way I was doing it before. So if it's an array, we're going to loop through each one, right? And so does the class exist? I had it right the first time, right? So this is now got to go here. Okay, and then this has to go here. Okay. And then this becomes class. This gets reversed. This is class. Oops. And then this becomes ID. That's the problem. And then this has to be class again. Right? Right. What is it? Oh, class doesn't exist there. Oh, I need to move my else in. I think I need to check something out. I'm gonna just take this out for now. There's some logic in there. So if it's not an array, I need to process this in a similar fashion, yet a little bit different. Oh boy, legal offset type in 116. Where did I do that? 116. What does that error even mean? Uncut illegal offset. What does illegal offset type mean? Never seen an error before. Oh, where am I getting? Yeah. Oh. Okay, I think that's what I needed to deal with here. That's the problem. I need to wrap that in its own variable in a minute, but make sure this actually works, and then I want to do a breakpoint. Get rid of that break. Now remove the stupid breakpoint, and then run this. Okay, so patterns now looks a little different. Organization. Ooh, that looks better. Person. Schema. Funding. Okay, that's better. That's what we want, right? That's what we want. Now, is there anything? Okay, so all right. So now I want to check for this edge case. Else. Maybe I can do that. No, class isn't in there. Okay. Oh. What the hell have I done here? So this is just going to change slightly. So if it's not, then this doesn't look like that at all. We're going to need to change class to domain excludes. I don't know if this is a thing. I don't know. We'll see. And of course I don't have a breakpoint on. So let's look. I'm gonna drop a breakpoint in here because I want to see if this actually fires. It should fire somewhere. It does fire. It's a single class. Oh, okay, so that is an edge case. Okay, so for so citation has that. So the what is it? Creative work. Okay, so let's just step through that. Let's just disable that, and we'll step through here. Creative work. It has citation in it. Okay, so that was actually citation that goes in there. So this is all the stuff. Okay, we're getting there. We are getting there, friends. Okay, so now that we have this, what's the thing that we next need? Okay, so I don't need this. ID is what I'm looking. So what am I using ID for anything? ID is the. This would be like schema. Schema citation. This can be an array or a single class. Okay. Yes, call to nest. Okay. So we need to know what's nested then, right? We need to understand what lives inside of it. Or do we know that information already? So let's look at some of these things. Let's run this. Okay, let's run this. Well, hello. Let's do that. Okay, let's run this. Now our patterns. So our patterns have these are the for lack of a better term, like the things that can go in it. Right? But then is there a way of knowing? So let's go node. So this is a property. I'm going to do a breakpoint here. I'll do a breakpoint here. I want to edit this. This is going to be ID is going to be what I want to check is going to be schema job posting. Okay, so I'm just gonna rerun this. Oh, okay, do that. Rerun this over here. Refresh. refresh. Okay, so job posting. So the node looks like this. We get this, we get this, we get this. So how do we know what gets nested in there? Is there like, so does it, how does it work? Paul, do you know? So like when I'm nesting something, so like in here, for example, so we got this job location, right? So at type is place. So if I do a search in the schema for place, how do we know what gets, like what can go inside of it? You know what I mean? Like how do we know what's valid? Yes, to call to nest. Like there's other examples, right? There's, let's see, like, so a category code. If we did a search for category code, would it give us information? Range includes, what's this? Category, domain includes, schema, recommendation, product source. Oh. So category, it's set in the object. Yes, but where in the object? Like what are we talking about? Like how, so you're talking about nesting, right? So we need to know what can be nested, or can anything be nested into anything? This music is ridiculous. It's like bad music. It's set in the object. So, but is it, so domain includes are the things that this appears in. So range includes are these the things that need some metal. Yeah, I would love some metal actually, but because I stream and it goes to YouTube, I don't want to lose. I don't want to have to not demonetize, but turn the audio off. I need some free stuff. Yeah, you know. Anyways, what's that? Schema.org data type. Whoa, what is this? Okay. I don't think I understand what, so this is the data type, right? So we have a data type, more specific data types, number, for example. So the instance and number may appear, yeah, okay. So I get that, but like if we're talking about the job posting specifically, like that, so this is how we're building it out. Like this top level stuff in our patterns, primitive object. Yep. But Paul, I need to understand. So inside our creative work, are there other classes that can go in there? Because clearly, like in job posting, there is occupational category, or up here we have job location, and the type is of type place, and I'm assuming place is a class, and so like type can go inside, like it's postal address, and that goes inside of place. How can I figure out these relationships, I guess is my question. Because we'll need that information, I think, to figure that out, right? To be able to build these nested, because if every type is a group block, right? We're gonna generate a group block for that, and then that'll be how that works. But I don't see how these things are connected. So for example, let's look. So like a place, type of place can appear inside a job posting. So if I do a place, right, and I look around, so that's job location. So schema job location, does that work? Job location. So schema is the job location. So then we need to know what fits inside of everything. So job location, so domain includes job posting, and range includes schema place. Okay, so the range includes is the thing that it can have inside of it. That makes sense. So domain includes the things it's part of, and the range includes are the things that are part of it. If you think of it that way. Okay, so that's good to know. So we can look at the range includes, and now we can figure this stuff out a little bit. So we can change this a little bit. We can go domain includes, and we'll say range includes. If I can type it, range includes. Okay, so these are things it can be a part of. These are things that can this is weird to say, that can be part of it. So we're going to do the same sort of thing here, and this is going to be range includes. Okay. So if domain includes, we're gonna process that. And then I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do an array. We'll call this domain includes. Ah, no, get out of here. Includes, and that's gonna be an array, an empty array. So then we're gonna go patterns thing domain includes. Are we just rebuilding the schema? I just want to see if this works right now. Patterns, domain includes. Okay, so that's got everything that it includes. And then there should be a list of everything that includes it. But the node already controls that information. So do all we need is part of. What is this? Pending. Oh, okay. Domain includes, range includes. Okay. So we're doing a lot of work to kind of rebuild this thing. But I think what we want to do is we want to have a class that represents each thing, because then what we can do is we can say, because then in our patterns we can say, okay, well, I've got a job posting, right, and it includes all of these things, but then so place it includes all of these things. These items make up a place. But then what I would love to be able to do is say, okay, now job posting can also support a place. So go and get schema place and pull all of its domain includes in too. So I don't think we're doing like we're redoing work. Like I think we're doing this properly. I think. I'm gonna just steal all this, and then we're just gonna try this. Includes and so now this should give me all the things on both sides. Oh no, we'll see, I guess. Let's see what happens. Oh, array push must be type array. Oh, that's why. Let's try that. Copy and paste for the fail. Okay, where's this? 139. What is this? this feeling? Range includes. Oh, patterns. Oh, this is interesting. Oh, wait, no, that's fine. That's fine. Because this, if it doesn't exist, then I want to put it in there. And then patterns, range includes, ID. I don't understand why this isn't working. Argument must be of type array. A null is given. Where's... Oh. Sorry. I think this is why. Okay, I gotta see what's going on. This is fucking weird. D, yeah. Patterns. Shouldn't get in there then. Boom. Doesn't get in there, but it should stop. Patterns. That's class ID. Oh, okay. What is going on? That's clearly the problem. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm saying class ID equals this. I want that. If array key exists, class ID. What is this failing on? Array push. So. Super annoying. So it's gonna for each through the range as I'm gonna call this range, so it's not gonna get screwy here. This is gonna be range that. I'll call it range class ID. All right, let's go in there. And then it's gonna be range class ID like this. That's going to create a new instance of the array. And it's a new array, and that's going to have this, which is also going to be an array. That's fine. So then when I get down to here, I'm going to look for patterns range class ID, which should exist by this point. And it's going to have range includes. And I'm going to push the ID. No. I feel like my logic's wrong. Is this where it's failing? No. Not failing in the wrong spot at all. Am I in the wrong place? I'm absolutely barking up the wrong tree here. 1 second, let me just get rid of all this. Just back to where it was supposed to be. Okay. Okay. That seems okay. All right, let's try this again. We're gonna say, Oh, I'm outside of the for each. That's maybe the problem. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to start turning all this stuff off. And this is going to be range includes. Range includes. And we're going to go if it's an array in this, then we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And this is going to change the range includes. This is going to change the range includes. Range includes. Range includes. Range includes. Domain includes. Oh my god, you fucking asshole. Something's not right here. Is like patterns not built by then or something? $38. It's right here. Right here where that's failing. And now it's not. What is happening? Basic PHP debugging, friends. Good times. Range includes is an array. It's got two things in there. Okay, and it's just got two IDs. So, what I need to do then is I need to go for each range includes as range. Sure. Then I'm going to say if no array key exists in patterns for the range, right? If that's true, then I want to go patterns. Range equal. Oh, I know why. I know why this is happening. I need to add both things in there, right? This be range includes. I think that's the problem. Range includes, right? Okay, and so I need to do this same chunk of stupid code. Equals this. What I think was happening was it was trying to push. Why are you yelling at me? That one? What's this problem? Oh, stop. Boop. What's this yelling at me for? Oh, this is range, and then I put patterns in there. I think that's the problem. I think that's exactly what the issue was here. So now, what I need to do is now it's going to say range. I'm going to look in there and it's going to look for domain includes now because I included it, or no, range includes. I think this is going to fix it. It's because it wasn't defined. No, you stupid idiot face, stupidness. Alright, let's see what this is. Different error. That's always a good sign. Range includes, and moving on to the next one is going to be range. What's range looks like? Is the std. Okay, so I still have to do that. So range is going to be like this. Boop. Get a boop. Get a boop. Still didn't fix it. Why do you hate me? 133. Oh, right. Right. That's why. Bam. Ew, you. 137 down here. So range includes It still doesn't like what I'm doing here. Okay, before it gets there, I want to see what I have. Why is this being so difficult? Patterns. So it has domains. Why is that not being... Domain includes... Range includes... Array push. Domain includes... That's super weird. So this should be creating an array with two items that are both like that, right? That are both in there. And this should be doing the exact same stupid thing. Range includes, you know? Turn this off for a second. Turn this off for a second. And then run it. Patterns go on item. What? If domain includes. This is why. This is 100% why. Right? Doesn't exist. Just gonna add it like that. That is, I think, what my problem is. This is stupid. What? Why is this broken now? Like I need what? There we go. Okay. I'll get there. I'll get there, friends. I will get there eventually. We will get there together. It'll be a great time. It'll be a great time. This is just bad engineering. Patterns. So we've got one thing. So we've got range includes now, and we've got domain includes. So they're both the same thing, which doesn't make any sense to me. So let's make sure I'm doing this right. So down to there. So patterns has got two things. Let's put in the same information in there, which I don't think is what we want. So we are looping through effectively now, though. We have to also handle as a single item in there, and we're going to just basically do the same thing as we do up here. But I'm going to copy this, and it's going to be same if. That's going to be range includes. this should loop properly now, but I think the issue is I'm not putting the right thing in there. Okay, so we got patterns. We got domain includes. There's all this stuff in it. Then we got range includes. So I think what we need to do is not take ID. I think what we need to do is put I think we need to put range ID in there. And then we're gonna have to check this information because I don't. So let's look at this job posting. It was in here at one point. We got Boolean. So okay, so job posting is not included in anything but range. Okay, all right. So let's look for place. Or something that could be in a cool. Thanks for hanging out, Bad Dude Court. Appreciate you. Appreciate you for sure. Let me just see. It's got to be something that I can. Let's just look here. Product, audience, class, place. Okay, so let's look. So, oh, that's weird. Okay, that's not right. Okay, so let's look at place. Let's get range. Maybe it is supposed to be ID. I'm starting to get cross-eyed here a little bit. Let's put that in, and we'll try this again. Just rebuild this. Let's see what happens. So patterns now. We found place in there somewhere, didn't we? Oh, there it is, place. So this seems right. Good touches. Oh, 1 second. Be right back. Not over, but I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. Well, you know what? I think it's a good time to call it here, anyways. But we're getting very close. What I want to be able to do, I gotta wrap my head around this a little bit more. This data's pretty deep, so I need to figure this out, how this is all gonna nest. But I think we're getting pretty close. So basically, once we have this stuff processed, I think we can probably save it as processed as well, and then we'll get back. Then we can start building out the patterns. But there's a lot that needs to be done here, I think. So, anyways. I'm gonna say later, and we're gonna see all next week. Top level of those ones ranges. So yeah, so we're gonna do that. Yeah. Anyways, we'll talk to you all soon, and I'm gonna do the stream ended, and it's gonna say be right back because I had to change that real quick. But anyways, thanks a lot. Appreciate you all for hanging out with me, and we'll see you next week, same time, and we'll pick this up again. No, this is great. This is fun. I love this kind of stuff. We'll get it all figured out. It'll be all good. All right. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you soon.